You have young people who are interested, old people who are just learning to fly, and everything in between. Professional pilots, newbies who've never been on an airplane, a whole mix of interesting people.
It's all here to just try, and you got to see it. It's watching a video about this stuff. I'm going to try to make my best video that I can about simulation, how it applies to me, but there's too much here to even cover. You got to see it here. You got to be here to see this stuff. It's amazing where it's at.
Everything I see is going through a lens of how could I use this tool to either save money in flight training or become a better pilot.
Come, as simple as that. There is just so much content here. The people and the relationships and the memories that you build from it are just, you'll never forget it.
Oh my gosh, you totally have to come. I think it just gets bigger and better every year.
This is the place to be in the US for reaching the flight sim audience. We can go to as many gaming conventions as we want, but if we want to talk to the actual flight simmer, this is the only place we ever consider.
You need to be here. There's so much knowledge and power in this room. If you want to learn about it with simulation or learning to fly or almost anything in aviation, I mean, it's right here.
Get your reservations now.
And we're having fun. We're on the floor. We're looking at all the different announcements, all the different vendors here. It's a lot.
Well, this is actually my first FS Expo. I'm completely blown away. The amount of immersion with the community, I'd say the community is probably the best aspect of the show. Seeing the people who have been doing the home builds, building their own computers, the different vendors coming and seeing their products, the stuff that we're seeing is amazing with the immersion.
If you're on the fence about attending the show, you need to get here. That's all I can say about that, because it is the place to be to talk with the brands that you like supporting and other members of the community who are just like you, who love the same things that you love. This is a place to do it all in one place, all under one roof. Everybody's just as excited as you are.
There's a flight simulator, motion simulator, anything you could get into and touch is what I'm excited about.
We've seen a wide variety of people attending the show, from beginners that want to get into flight sim and asking professionals for questions, asking the community what to do, reaching out, and up to the hardcore, serious simmers that have looking for full cockpit solution. So there's literally everything from one end of the scale to the other.
So I'd say for people who are on the fence, maybe they don't know whether to attend or not, you should definitely check it out. There's really interesting people here. Everyone has a shared passion. You'll make some friends and have some good memories for sure.
I've already been to a couple of seminars, and then just walking around the floor here. It's just great to see you get your hands on some of the peripherals and all those sort of things which you normally only see online. So I definitely come. You wouldn't regret it if you did come in.
Hey everyone, what is going on? I am Callum from the FS Elite team, and I am super excited to be here today with a bunch of special guests talking about FlightSimExpo 2023 And this is going to be the first time that we have revealed exactly who is going to be attending this year's big show. So obviously I am joined by Evan from Flight Simulation Association. Hi Evan, how you doing?
Hey Callum, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well. I mean, we're going to be talking about Flight Simulation Association, Flight Sim Expo, I should say, for the next hour, or both.
Yes.
And I'm also joined today by Sky Command as well. Hi Sky, how you doing?
Hello, sir. Oh my goodness, what a time. Thank you for having me. I mean, I'm going to keep it short. I'm just so excited. Come on, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. I mean, it's been years since I've been to a show personally. The last show I went to was in 2019.
Yeah.
And obviously we've had things like COVID and stuff, but finally 2023, fingers crossed, touch wood and everything, that is going to be the show that we've kind of all been anticipating and waiting for the longest time. But I'm not the one with all the details. Our good friend Evan, I mean, this is your show. Like, tell us exactly the dates, the location. Give the people what they need to know in order to be there at the show when we start revealing all the exhibitors and stuff in a few short moments.
Yes, good deal. And this year it is different, so it's important for people to pay attention and know what we're talking about. You know, in the past, obviously, at our shows in Vegas, in Orlando, in San Diego, everything was all in one place. So you really only had to just get yourself to one place and the rest was kind of easy. This year, we've got a little bit more to it. So the show kicks off on Friday, June 23rd. That happens at our DoubleTree Hotel. So all of it, of course, in Houston. This is the hotel where some of you are staying, but not necessarily the only hotel where people will be staying. And this Friday afternoon is a series of new release seminars. So think biggest reveals, and we're going to talk about some of those reveals later on today. These are going to be developers up on the stage showcasing what they've been working on basically since our last show. So that's Friday afternoon. Moving into Friday evening, we've got our attendee social. That was typically Saturday night. We've moved that to the Friday this year, so it gives us all a chance to kind of get to know each other before the big show as opposed to halfway through. And then on Friday night, our FSA Captain's Dinner. Moving into Saturday and Sunday, that's when we actually head over to the Lone Star Flight Museum, and that's where you'll see that more typical full-on exhibit hall with our two seminars going on concurrently. So Friday at our DoubleTree Hotel, and then Saturday, Sunday at the Lone Star Museum, where you'll be seeing a lot of these names we're just about to talk about.
I mean, the show is already shaping up to be really awesome. I mean, myself and Sky, we've already seen kind of the list, so we know there's going to be some big names that we're going to be talking about in a moment. We've looked at the schedule, but obviously traveling all the way out to Houston can be a little bit expensive. And I know you've got some incredible deals. So let's talk about those real quick. So I know people who are watching these streams want to know exactly who they will see, but let's see how we can get people there nice and cheap, shall we?
Yeah, definitely. And, this is really the best time to book. I think every year I say, please register early for the show. Normally, I'm just saying that because I'm self-interested, right? The more people we have registered early, the more we can plan. This year is probably a year like Vegas where we're going to sell out. I would not be surprised if by the beginning of June, we're saying, that's it. That's quite possible this year. Just looking at how the numbers are trending so far, looking at how many exhibitors we're about to share. So that's exciting. But that also means people need to make sure that you're on your travel plans. So all the details are on our website, FlightSimExpo.com/travel. And as we always do, we've tried to really make this an affordable event. Like, I get it, you're traveling a long way. If you have a family, you may or may not be bringing them with you. So this isn't the trip that's going to break the bank. This is supposed to be that trip you can do as inexpensively as possible. So we've secured discounts from Delta, United, and Southwest, a whole bunch of rental car companies. We've got, I think it's an 89 plus tax dollar rate at the hotel, so can't really get better than that. And really tried to make this a super affordable, super easy trip for you to make. So all those details over on our website at FlightSimExpo.com/travel. When I checked on Friday, we had about 50 rooms left at that $89 a night rate. So there will be more rooms, but they will not be that cheap. So if you want to secure that, I would, definitely get on that today or tomorrow to kind of guarantee yourself. And the same thing with registration. I know it's not always possible to make your plans in advance, but as soon as do get your tickets, because there is a good chance that this year's event will sell out. So I'm not just saying buy now because it would help me. I mean, it would help me, but also I think we will be turning some people away, and I don't want you to be one of them.
Whoo!
Yeah.
What a year! Yes.
I mean, Sky, we were talking just before the show started. I mean, before we show any kind of videos and stuff, tell the people, what are you most looking forward to? without kind of giving too much away at this point?
Well, I mean, it's almost hard to, but obviously, as a content creator myself, I'm looking forward to meeting some of the other ones. The last year, we had a great group together, and this year, I think that more of us are coming from a much more global perspective. So to see someone who came literally from across the pond in one place that I can say, hey, I spent Monday through Thursdays with you on Twitch or on YouTube or on Kick or whatever platform you do choose, you know, like meeting those people, it's gonna be a great time, especially at this venue. Lone Star is a crazy venue, and it's almost a toss-up of like just being there or being with everyone in our community. It's truly a toss-up, man.
Yeah, because you've been there, right, Brian? So you can
Oh
talk
yes,
about it.
I mean, full disclosure, I am have been given a great opportunity to be the tech director for this expo. So I did go and see some of the things that we're gonna see and experience, but that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I'm too excited. I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, I mean, let's just take that excitement right now and let's kind of, I know these shows would not be possible if it wasn't for the community, if it wasn't for content creators, but it obviously wouldn't be possible without the backing of some of the, you know, the biggest names in flight simulation. And Evan, I believe we have a video, don't we, to play kind of showcasing some of these diamond sponsors.
Yeah, so let's kick off our first, really, it's our first reveal. Not everybody.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, let's do it. All right, there you go.
Wow.
I'm telling you, we're just getting started too. I'm sorry. I told you. I told you guys. I tried to warn you before the video rolled, and now look. Now look.
And we found some new friends too.
We do. So we have DeAndre from Blackbird Simulations joining us, and we also have Colin from TFDI Designs joining us. Hi guys, how you doing?
We popped it out of the video. That was exciting. It's so great, Evan, to be joining you again, right? You guys have been at this now for a few years, and every year you guys just manage to really impress me with what you managed to accomplish. The last event was San Diego, which was, gosh, it was like almost a year and a half. How long ago? That was kind of a gap with COVID and everything, and trying to get everything back on track. But even with that event, you guys still managed to have quite an impressive turnout, right? So even in the midst of coming out of a global pandemic, you guys still managed to put on an amazing show. And so now that we're well removed from that, you guys have picked an amazing location, a huge air museum with 2 large hangars, lots of airplanes, right? Finally, you guys are in a museum. I've been saying that, like, hotels are awesome, but museums are just incredible. There's nothing like being surrounded by aircraft. So I just want to just start off by saying that I already know, based on what you guys have done in the past, this year is going to be absolutely insane.
Heard.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since we've had a proper show. We've just seen, I think, 8 or so diamond sponsors. The first name, PMDG, to kind of be involved in the show is awesome. And then you've got Thrustmaster with hardware, Orbex software, SimFab, INI Builds, X-Plane, Honeycomb, Navigraph, SimMarket. Just a huge bunch of names already. I'm not spoiling too much, but we have 50 names in total to reveal to you by the end of today's video. So that just, just to echo what DeAndre is saying there, like, you guys have always kicked ass for these shows and stuff, and this year I think is going to be awesome. But we also have 2 new names here. We have Blackbird Simulations and we have TFDI, and we can confirm you guys are also being part of this show. Is that right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it. We're going to be there. We're going to have a large booth. We're going to have some goodies for everyone who comes out. We've got a flight simulator that we're going to have set up. It's going to be a great time. We are just like internally, I think we have 8 or 9 people from our team that are going to show. And like, that's all we're talking about. We're just looking forward to all getting together. And, you know, as a company that is primarily based of working from home, everyone works from their home literally all over the planet. We have people in Brazil that are coming out, people in Canada coming out. So it's great to have an excuse for us all to get on a plane and be with each other. So one of the things that I believe Evan asked the question, like, what's your favorite part about FlightSimExpo? And for me personally, like, not anything against you, Evan, but you know, or just the team that puts us together, but it's the after hours. The after hours is always so much fun. The going out, the drinking, the hanging out is so much fun. So at least with our internal team, we're looking forward to being able to do that. And then having all of you at home join us and drink with us and hang out with us and tell us what you love about us, what you hate about us. You know, that's what we're there for, is this wonderful community. And it's going to be great for us finally having a huge event at a huge air museum to make it all happen.
Yeah, so you're saying I'm not invited to come out for drinks with you? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, come on. What was that place what was that place in Vegas that we packed out, that whole tropical looking place? I don't know if you remember that. We must have had like 60 people
with Orbits,
come out to the table. And Evan, you and Phil showed up a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, you guys, it's not it's never the same without you.
Well, DeAndre, how can we miss the people who are going to pay? They're obviously invited if the bill is on
He's
their
the one with the
tab.
vouchers.
You know, clearly he's got the drink tickets. Of course, Evan, come on in. You're first, in fact, literally.
Literally.
Yeah, DeAndre, depending on what kind of setup you got, we might have to put the MD-11 on it.
Yes.
Dude, please do. Please do. You know, Colin, I've been a huge fan of TFDI for years, right? I mean, I remember that one year, the first year I think we met, and then I came down to Florida and I had your number and I'm like, dude, could you please come over and bring the 717?
Bring the 717.
So you showed up and bought it. And so we were just like hanging out and flying it. So obviously, you know, I'm excited about that MD-11. So if you're telling me you're going to come put it on our simulator, let's fly, man. I want it.
We're gonna have it there. We're gonna be letting everybody get their first look at it and be hands on with it, as well as some of our other new stuff. We're just like you guys. We're gonna have a huge team there too, so it's gonna be we'll see how we can make it more fun.
Colin, if you need someone to test right now, you know, I humbly volunteer as treatment. I will make myself available to you, sir.
Me too.
You don't want it right now. You don't want it as it is right now. By Expo, you'll want it in June, but you won't want it right now.
Deal.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you guys are bringing the MD-11, Colin, is awesome to try out. And that's what these shows are about, right? It's about trying out new hardware. It's about trying out new software. Is there anything else you guys want to tease about what you might be bringing, or maybe even announcing, or, you know, what people can expect by actually flying all the way out to Houston and coming out to the show itself and being part of it and coming to your booth? What, you know, why should people come and see you guys at these shows?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who do follow the Blackbird Twitch, a lot of you know that we did do a live stream. I believe it was last Saturday, and we showed off a lot of stuff that we're working on. I think we showed off 6 or 7 new aircraft that are in development. By the time FlightSimExpo starts, we're expecting most of those to be flyable. So the hope is that those aircraft that you guys are constantly bugging us on our Facebook page, you know, what's going on, we're actually hoping to have those in a flyable state, so you can actually come and put your hands on it, see it in real time. And if our production schedule works the way that we're hoping that we will at least be able to get one release out. We'll definitely have a release out before then. I can't speak on that just yet, but we're hoping to have one that will be released roughly around the time of FlightSimExpo as well. I hate to say anything yet, because, you know, when it comes to development, things happen, but that's one of the things we're really looking forward to, is, you know, not just being able to talk about it or show you screenshots or videos, but for you to be able to come out and actually see it for yourself before you buy it and get an idea of just how much work that we've put into these products. So definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome.
I've kind of
sorry. No, you go ahead.
I think we've kind of got something similar, so we definitely want to let people take a look at the MD-11 hands-on. Like I said, that's going to be the first time that anybody's really got to see it in action, other than little previews. But we also we can't wait to kind of offer some exclusive. We usually have a sale or something, but we're considering even doing maybe another MD11 pre-sale type thing where you get some exclusive things, but only for attendees of Expo that come see us in person. We've typically done that.
You gotta come.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you
you
want
guys-
those discounts, you want to get some of those exclusive things, you got to be here with us.
You guys have always done, like, I keep using this picture because there's a picture that someone took of, like, you're in front of the camera and you're being interviewed. And so I keep using this picture in, like, all of our marketing materials because I'm like, this is the perfect thing to do at the show. Like, you're doing a new reveal, you're letting people get their hands on something new, and you've got the media involved. It's like, you know, the trifecta of how to do
It's the
FlightSimExpo,
perfect
right?
environment.
Yeah.
I mean, that leads me into the next question quite nicely. I mean, there are going to be developers watching this right now who might be on the fence about whether they should or shouldn't be coming to Expo. So from like a developer's perspective, you know, what advantages is there from your perspective? Not obviously there's like the meeting the community and meeting up with your teams and stuff, but from the exposure side of things and any other benefits, you know, what would you say to devs who are currently sat on the fence really?
I feel like I've got a good answer to this one. So I can say from a development standpoint, right? We have made so many connections at these events that have turned into, some of them decent sized projects, sometimes just great ideas together or just, you know, friends in the industry. But I can't even begin to count the amount of connections we've made there just with other developers. And of course, there's the obvious opportunity to get your product in front of a lot of people. And I will say, we have met a lot of people at these expos that we have to introduce ourselves to. And that's exciting to me. You know, there's a lot of people that are fans that come out to see us, but we also get a chance to say, hi, hi, I'm Colin, we're TFDI Design. And I think as a developer, every time you get to do that makes the trip that much more worth it. That's one more person walking away that didn't know about you beforehand.
Yeah, I'm going to second that as well. The connections are extremely important. I've made, even from a non-corporate perspective, just the number of friends and contacts that I've made personally just attending these events, which has been absolutely huge. And also, I think it's important to connect with your customer. I think we live in a age where everything is online, or when you need to, like, for example, I have this Vario headset that's stuck in customs, and I call FedEx and I just get an automated system that I have to talk to, and it takes me 30 minutes to get a human on the phone. It's crazy, right? So
Agent,
I think having that, yeah, that thank you, right? So it's like being able to talk to your customer, to be able to shake their hand, to be able to listen to what their ideas are, right? Like sometimes we have these meetings and we try to come up with these ideas, and sometimes we try to put polls out, but it's not the same as being able to stand in front of, your user base and be able to actually hear how they're using your product. And I think that's also a big thing is seeing and being able to talk to people about the different ways in which they use our products. That tends to give us a lot of ideas that we can go back and make enhancements and changes. A lot of people aren't online. A lot of people are. I think we've definitely seen a resurgence of a nice new young community that has come in, especially haven't been around for so long, right? So you've heard that you can't, what is it, you don't get a second opportunity to make a first impression. So I think that's important, right? Is having that human element. That's I know that sounds very aviation, isn't it? That human factor.
The Church of Flight Sim is open. I like it.
But that, to me, that helps. And for us who are always looking for talent, it's also a great place that, we hope to find talent, because we're always looking for coders and modelers and people to help with social media and all that stuff. So from that perspective, it definitely helps being there. And if you are a developer, and I know almost all of you personally, and if you're watching, I'm going to tell you, like I tell you every year, you got to come out. Let's have some fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, we have, this year the Monday as well, which is a specific developers conference, like just for this purpose, right? Because we figured, well, look, we're all together anyway. Why don't we actually talk, right? Let's give people a space to do that. So the Monday, even if you're not exhibiting, well, you should be exhibiting, but even if you're not exhibiting, but if you are a flight sim developer, you can still join us on Monday. It'll be a series of roundtable discussions, and it'll all be about how do we, as a community of flight simulation developers and content creators, how do we just continue to grow this hobby that we all love? So that's exactly the purpose, is just bringing people together, whether they're developers, communities, nonprofits, Discord groups, all these things that you don't really get to do in person because of the way our hobby is. You can actually do at this show.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing for me as a kind of a media presence there, and the same for you, Sky, I imagine, is the product announcements that you guys are going to be talking about, like to cover them is always exciting, to kind of pick your brains and talk about it. I mean, Sky, what are you most looking forward to from speaking to some of these developers and trying out these products from?
I mean, you gave me a perfect alley-oop here. I was going to say, I think some of the advantages from a developer's perspective is connecting with content creators that are rolling out some of these and debuting it to a larger audience or maybe a different audience, right? I think there's something to be said about transitions, right? I'm big on transitioning in life, music, right? Art, right? Making sure that the go-betweens are smooth. And I think that's a unique and an important opportunity that could be facilitated directly at FS Expo, right? The content creators all come, we can interface with who are making these things directly and say, hey, you know what? When you launched this didn't quite work out, or I really would like, an electronic flight bag of some variety, and really be able to impart that in person. But those types of exchanges, the context might be lost in a Discord, might be lost on an angry review, right? Versus in a more collaborative and positive environment that is FlightSimExpo. So that's what I'm excited for, interfacing directly with the developers and seeing those type of exchanges happen from some of a sort of like a transitional level. That sort of makes sense. You guys vibing?
I would say too, further to that, we've actually had customers come up to us and vent criticisms and kind of have those sorts of discussions. But like you said, they're not coming up yelling at us, oh, your product's broken. It's not that kind of an environment. It is a much more collaborative, hey, here's what happened to me. I want to let you know, let's talk about it. And it's kind of some of those little encounters that we've had have shaped our view of what we need to be doing. So there's huge power in that.
Absolutely invaluable. And we can extrapolate this to everything, right? Of being in person in the community, right? But specifically with our niche within flight sim, right? I think there is directly something to be said. I mean, it's as complicated as building an airplane, quite literally, right? And there's something about that touch point of being there from two perspectives. One, as you guys are making these things for us, right? And from our perspective, that is debuting it to a larger audience and things that we need to work or things that aren't working in a way. I mean, it's so invaluable and it's so exciting.
Absolutely. We've been talking now for about 20-25 minutes, and I can just imagine people are just super keen now to see who the rest of these exhibitors and sponsors are for FlightSimExpo 2023. And as I said earlier, there's about 50 names to reveal. So Evan, I think we have another video to showcase to the people.
Roll it.
Nice cough there, Callum. Was that you?
It was me, but bravo. Round of applause to the Expo team. 50 exhibitors confirmed already. I mean, my mind is blown. Just some of the names we saw there. I mean, I'm hyped already. I've seen some of the chats like kind of blowing up. Like, this is insane. I mean, kudos to you guys for organizing all of this already.
Congrats on the 50 bomb, Evan. That's huge. Yeah.
It's our biggest ever initial reveal. And, of course, this is just round one, right? So there's more to come. I think I was just saying as we were chatting there with the video playing, like we've confirmed, I think 4 more since we made this video, which was only about 3 days old. So this is still absolutely going. And by no means is this the final list. This is really just, round one. Great to see in the chat too, NRT Virtual and Hype and Fly By Wire. Thank you guys for being on with us today. I saw Moose in there, I saw Slat Alpha in there. I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole bunch of others. But guys, thank you for being on. I mean, it's just so nice to have, developers here supporting the stream and being part of it, because that's what this is all about, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. I mean, like we've been kind of saying and stuff over the last, 20 minutes or so, this is the first proper show I imagine since kind of 2019. I know you had the show in 2021, which was kind of that hybrid thing, and I know there's still online stuff this year, but I think there was still maybe some trepidation about going to a show with like travel restrictions and stuff. I mean, when you reached out to developers for this particular show, Evan, what was their response? Were they like super excited to finally be back out in the world and speaking to communities and seeing other developers?
Yeah, I mean, very different reaction, certainly, to how it was in 2021. And I get it, right? The travel restrictions had us all trying to figure out what to do. So this year, with all that being behind us, and we hope, looking much more like a 2019 Orlando-style show without any of the masks or the physical distancing, stuff like that, we're really excited. And you could definitely feel that when we're talking to developers and doing our outreach this year. It was a very different sort of feel to the year. Hey, Q8, and hey, Fastcal, thanks, guys, for being here.
I mean, yeah, you can see. I mean, when we did these videos, I think we did a video for 2020 before COVID kind of really happened, basically. Yeah. And I think there were maybe 20 confirmed at that point, and that was before any sort of issues. So I think this just goes to show how, keen people are to kind of get back in the world. And as Deandra was saying earlier, we've kind of had a rejuvenation within flight simulation. So we've got a younger audience. We've got new developers who've joined the scene. So some really awesome names there. I mean, Sky, is there any you want to just kind of pick out who you're just like immediately
Navigraph, I have a very special
about?
place in my heart for you, Navigraph. I love you so much. Massive fans. And of course, the fly-by-wire people. You guys, listen, you never forget the ones that love you first, okay? Fly-by-wire, you held us down, okay, with the freeware. Love you long time. Hyped for the A380, okay? That's all I'll say. I just love you guys. But there's just so many names. There really are, okay? But it's, I mean, Evan is a name too. I'm excited to see Evan. Rumor has it he might be there himself.
Nah.
But yeah, no, those people in particular, of course. I mean, I'm going to stop by every booth that I can, every single one that I did last year. I was actually quite proud of the coverage that I hit for last year. So it's my goal to complete that same amount. But those people that I just named, don't be surprised if I kind of loiter around your booths for longer than necessary. Okay. Love you all the time.
I mean, so after this video goes live as well, if there's going to be a whole page dedicated to all the sponsors and stuff, if there are booths, and is the floor plan going live as well, Evan?
Yeah, floor plan will be up on the website later today, so you can actually look at the whole museum, not just the booths, but we've actually got the entire museum on there, so you can kind of get a sense as to some of the other activities that we have going on. Our VR Experience Center, for example, where you'll be able to try out a whole bunch of different VR technology, some of what the museum has to offer, like the Texas Aviation Hall of Fame. All that stuff's going to be up on the website here pretty shortly, and coming up in just a couple weeks, we'll be actually revealing our schedule as well. So up till now, you still don't know who are the speakers, where are they going to be speaking, who's revealing announcements on the Friday. All that stuff is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So lots more news to come. Again, think of this as just round one of what we hope is a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh my goodness. I just realized all that's still to be revealed. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We're all going to be very, very busy covering all of this for everyone, and it's going to be an awesome show. I think for me, like the most exciting part of these shows is always the hardware stuff, because software, software you get a really good feel for from watching YouTube videos or reading reviews or doing whatever, but hardware, until you kind of feel it and try it yourself, it's you don't know if it's going to be right for you. So I know we saw some amazing hardware developers there. And as you've kind of mentioned before, Evan, this is a real great opportunity for like the try before you fly type of thing.
Yes.
You know, is there any kind of hardware, you know, we should be kind of looking out for during the show this year? Anyone you want to specifically mention who's going to be bringing some cool stuff with them?
Yeah, I mean, the trouble when you start making a list is you're going to forget somebody, but 3 names that just, come to mind right away. And I always love to be the first place where people can try things. So we were the first place where you could try the honeycomb pedals, also the Thrustmaster pedals, I think a year before that. That was all FlightSimExpo. This year will be the first place for anyone to try the Yaman Arrow. So that's that new kind of PlayStation style controller that you're going to be able to use on a mobile device, but it's like a flight simulation yoke sort of built into you saw it in the video earlier. So that'll be the first place anyone's ever able to try that. I mean, that's always really cool for us. For the first time this year, we have an OEM, so a computer maker, MSI Computer Corp, will be attending. They're powering that VR experience center that I was talking about. So that's really cool for us. And for the first time again this year, we have a VR headset maker, something we've never had at FlightSimExpo before. We've seen lots of virtual reality, but it's always been like, well, here, put this on and, come see my airplane or come see my scenery. Now you've actually got Pimax Innovation at the show talking about VR for VR, not just sort of using it as part of their display. So always these new things that you kind of get your hands on and be able to feel and touch and try for the first time. That's what this show's all about for sure.
I mean, if you've ever been on the fence about trying VR, I mean, I tried it for the first time only like 6 months ago and I was blown away. So, you know, this is the perfect opportunity to try it out, see if it's for you, because I can appreciate, having something close to your eyes and stuff may give you like motion sickness or whatever, but this is going to be awesome. And you can actually speak to the people who make the hardware to kind of get the best. If you're in the market basically for kind of new flight controls, a new PC and a new VR headset, then this is the place to be, because you can actually go and just basically speak to all these people and find out everything you need to know in one place.
So if you're not, then you will be by the time the show's over.
If I could add to that, though, I think that VR piece is quite important because, we talk a lot about ushering in the next generations of sim pilots, right?
Yes.
And what does that future look like, right? What is that? It's diverse, and I think it's going to be heavily involved with AR and VR, right? And to get to that future, we have to start now. We have to start to introduce those experiences like the ones that we're going to have at FS Expo. Those younger people that come to FS Expo, this is how we reach out to them. This is how we connect. I think it's absolutely massive that we're taking these bold leaps in the AR and VR space.
Agreed.
Absolutely agreed. And, we talk about hardware. We've also got software developers there. INI Builds are there for the first time at a show. And those guys have been kind of killing it with all their releases and stuff. I mean, it's incredible that they're going to be there. We've got Orbex who are going to be there. I've just got the list of exhibitors. I'm going to be difficult and do a list. Navigraph,
as long as it's you and not me, that's fine.
Infinite Flight. I mean, we got different simulators there as well. So Infinite Flight, GeoFS, both on a mobile device. It's going to be amazing. So plenty to do. Fly-by-wire, awesome. So there are 2 software developers. I just want to give a quick mention and shout out to, 3 of them. So they're doing something a little bit different. And this is something I've always advocated for developers at these shows. But so we got FlightFX, X-Plane, and FS Reborn, who hopefully, if everything works out, will be exhibiting with something very special with them. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about that, Evan.
Yeah. So all 3 of them are bringing, as far as we know, the physical airplane that matches the simulator airplane. So FlightFX will have a Vision Jet. They make one for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but they're going to have an actual Vision Jet that will be sitting right there, the pilot of whom will be flying it in the simulator. So it's not just like, hey, go, try out my simulator. It's actually going to have the real pilot flying the airplane in the simulator, doing tutorials, giving tips on how they fly the approaches and how they set up the airplane. That stuff's going to be there in real time. We don't know for sure. We think FS Reborn is bringing the Sting S4, again, the airplane that they make. And Austin Meyer of X-Plane is flying in the Evo, which is like modeled right down to the pencil holders in the sim. He'll be bringing that airplane in as well. So you'll be able to see and touch those airplanes just like any other FlightSimExpo exhibit. I think that's really cool. We've really leveraged the fact that we're on an airport at an air museum where we have real airplanes to be able to make all this possible this year. And that's something we've just never had at the show before.
That is ridiculous, man. Yeah. As a content creator and media partner, I'm excited to go and see all of this. As the tech director, I just saw my workload quintuple. But it's going to be good.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Ah,
But again, you only get that experience at these shows. I mean, I know we keep
only.
going on about it, but you can try software demos and stuff at home, but you're never going to be able to experience the software with the aeroplane and a pilot all in the same space. It's just, this is why you need to come. And I think this is kind of why, Evan, you were saying this show will sell out this year, because there are so many unique opportunities that a hotel environment just wouldn't be able to provide in like past years and stuff.
Moose is asking if TFDI is bringing the MD-11. We should have asked Colin that while he was on here. Darn.
Oh.
I don't know if that would fit in the door. That might be a bit. It's a big space, but I don't know if it's that big.
Fly by wire. Are you guys bringing the? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just park it outside.
So there's the other aspect of these shows as well, and we've talked about it as well, but it's the communities as well. So we've got hardware, we've got software, we've got real world kind of aviation schools who are going to be there, which is awesome. And we've also got the communities too. So we've got FlightSim, my VAO, Q8 Pilot, who's been a huge contributor to the show this year and a massive supporter. We've got virtual airlines. What benefit of having these communities at these shows, will have on people who are attending, and why should they go visit their booths as well, do you think?
I think it all just comes down to we're trying to give people not just, okay, I'm going to walk around the show floor for an hour, but really engaging, interactive things to do. I'd love to see, something like Navigraph do a flight planning challenge. Like, what if there were 5 or 6 people on a team and you had to get this airplane with this number of passengers to this airport in the most efficient way that you can? I think you can do something really cool with that. We talked about FlightFX and the Vision Jet. X-Plane historically has done a landing competition. We may see that come back again. And when you talk about virtual airlines and communities, that really is just the epicenter of all that. So you'll be able to go upstairs to see VATSIM. They're in a room that looks like a control tower, and they'll be doing that demonstration of how the network works with pilots and air traffic controllers. IVEO, similar story. And then the virtual airlines to just show people, a lot of people don't know that virtual airlines exist, right? A lot of us just fly the sim in single player offline, and then all of a sudden one day we're like, oh, there's this whole other world out there. So VAs, we've been able to bring a lot of virtual airlines to the show through our nonprofit exhibitor program, which we're very proud of, so that people who aren't selling anything and aren't making any money can still show you that there's these amazing experiences to be had out in our community. And really all it takes is just that one introduction that you might get with someone at this show, and bang, your eyes are open to a whole new world.
Yes, 100%. I can speak to it directly, having been there. It's happened.
Yeah.
And it's the communities. We've got the content creators as well. Sky, you're going to be there, as you've mentioned. You're going to be covering it. And even on the expo page right now, there's a whole host of media partners who are going to be covering this event. And as a media partner, there's only so much that I can do. There's only so much you can do, Sky. But collectively, as a media group, as it were, hopefully we're going to have content that relates to something for everyone, and that's awesome. And I'm super excited to see what you produce, and I know you're going to be working extremely hard on trying to provide all of that for your community too.
Absolutely. I mean, and not just my community, but all of our communities. In fact, if I can, if there are any media partners that are wanting to connect with other media partners and other content creators ahead of the event, please reach out to me, because we are already collectively figuring out how to communicate together. And I've got an idea. So just reach out to me without spoiling it. If you're a media partner, or if you're a content creator who's making content around FS Expo, if you want to generate hype, if you want to figure out how to meet those people, we have an opportunity in store for you. So reach out to me. Sky Command everywhere.
That's awesome. I mean, so guys, you're watching this on various channels and stuff right now. If you do have any questions about anything you've seen so far, drop them into the chat and we're going to start answering some of those community questions. Before we do answer any questions, Evan, like this show's already going to be super exciting. It's already in a cool aviation museum hangar. There's going to be so many developers and stuff, but there's also stuff to do in the museum itself and also in the Houston area too. Do you want to talk us a little bit about kind of what things can people do during the weekend that may not necessarily be to do with FlightSimExpo itself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is just an epicenter for aviation and space, so we're really working to leverage that and bring it in as part of the whole sort of FlightSimExpo weekend experience. So we will have, hopefully anyway, and I'm going to say this is mostly confirmed as I'm still working out some details, but the plan is a group visit to the Space Center on Friday morning. So you'll be able to get on a bus, takes you down to the Space Center. You have an hour and a half there. There's a tram tour that you can take that takes you to the astronaut training facility and the rocket launching sort of facility that's there. And then bus takes you right back to the hotel, and bang, you're ready to go for Friday afternoon's reveals. Also, Friday morning, plane spotting trip to Intercontinental. So they're actually going to have a bus dedicated for our group of us to go out and drive on the taxiways and the runways at IAH to give you the best up-close plane spotting, take whatever pictures you want, get a real close view of the behind-the-scenes at the airport. And tours, Houston Center, Houston Approach, Houston Tower, and Hobby Tower. We've got tours confirmed at all of those. So those won't be for everybody because obviously they're outside of the show hours. But if you're somebody who's flying in on Thursday, staying until Monday or Tuesday, or you're just looking for something to do outside of the show, we're working on finding all these kind of little, we call them excursions, that people will be able to do, hopefully with a group. And, what would be great to see is groups of 5, 6, 10, whatever it is, getting together, whether you've met at the show or whether you're just a fan of Skies and you want to go meet him and hang out with them. That's the kind of thing we want to promote. Is it's just, you're coming for the show, but you're staying for this kind of group experience afterwards.
I heard it's sold out already. The Butter Club meetup is sold out. It's
is it?
you have to take a look at 2024, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But even in the museum itself as well, there's plenty of things to go and see and do. You've got the whole kind of the backdrop of all the aircraft, all the historic information about it.
I mean,
there's just going to be so much to see and do.
They're giving rides in their warbirds. Like you can literally fly in I think it's the B-25, and I'm going to start guessing at names of airplanes if I keep going. So to stop myself. But warbird rides going on. We're hoping they have an actually fully certified simulator. So if you're a pilot and you need to get your instrument currency, we're hoping you'll be able to do that in their simulator with the CFI and actually log that flight time. We've talked about being able to do with Moby Flight. I guess he announced it today, so I guess I can say it probably too. Like a home cockpit building thing. So you could actually sign up for this workshop. They're going to give you the components, and you can literally build like a switch or a little kind of home cockpit piece that you take home with you. I mean, I just think that kind of stuff we've never had before at the show, but we've heard the feedback that people want, really engaging stuff to do. So yes, you can walk around the show floor, and if that's all you want to do, that's great. But there's going to be all these other things going on, in conjunction with the show. And we're really working actually right now on all these things.
Wow. Evan, I have an impromptu question. Where are we going to put the kitchen sink since you got everything else here at the show, man?
I know, right? We're literally, we've every time that we think the show floor is full, and it's like the 4th time now, we go back and we're like, is there an extra 5 feet there? I think there is 5 feet there. Yeah, let's do that. And it's just been nonstop.
Oh, I see it. Because you're like, hey, can we run power there, Brian? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yes, obviously.
That's been what it's like. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is why I've always appreciated these shows, because typically there's always something to do after the show or before the show and stuff. And as we keep saying, it's about the people you're there with, it's about the stuff you go and see and do. It's not necessarily just about the exhibitors, but everything's there all in one place. And if you're going there for a long weekend or you're traveling overseas from Europe, like I am, then there is going to be plenty of reason to actually go there and actually visit Houston, because it's a place I've never been. And yeah, there should be lots of things to go and see and do. So before we answer some of the community questions, did you guys want to add anything else to this stream?
I was waiting on Sky.
Okay, I was like, I'm like, who goes first? All right, so Evan, you've crushed it so far. So allow me, okay? Let me give you some breath, okay, before you reveal something else that's very, very exciting that's happening or something. So, I think Houston as a city, it's a unique place in that it's a big, sprawling city. Houston is quite large, right? But there is lots to do in that city, given what your taste is, right? If you want to learn about space, you want to learn about aviation. If honestly you just want to have good food and beer, we got you covered. It's sorted, right? The weather should be fine. It shouldn't be too hot. It shouldn't be too hot. I don't think we did a humidity check, but we'll be on that for you. But the venue is air conditioned. It's like we are really trying to set up a wave here from the city all the way down to the venue to where you put your head at night. We're trying to cover it all, and it's honestly impressive to be a part of it and to witness it happen. That's all I've got to say. Oh, I guess, and if you're a media partner or a content creator and you want to connect, please reach out to me, twitch.tv/Sky Command, or any of your platforms, Sky Command. Just reach out to me, Discord included, right? Just connect and I can get you sorted. Over to you guys, Evan.
And well, from my side, I would say just back to the two of you, the both of you, FS Elite and Sky, are listed as first-class media partners. And the way that they get there is just by a tremendous amount of work. They haven't paid us anything. We haven't paid them anything. Maybe I should have, but we haven't. The point is, Callum put together those 2 videos that you just saw. That was something I literally never could have done. And of course, Sky and Brian, who's our tech director for the show, handling all of our AV, all of our internet power requirements. So any problems you have, go talk to him.
Send it this way. Reach out to me, twitch.tv/Sky for your power problems. Okay?
Seriously, the support from these guys and from the community as a whole and our volunteer team is what allows this show to go on. So that's why, their logos, these 2 logos are up there. And I'm very grateful for the 2 of you for making this reveal happen and for all the support you've shown us. If, you're somebody else who wants to help us, like, the door is open, right? We're here and we're always looking for people who are willing to step up and join our volunteer team or who have an interesting idea. I mean, this reveal came because a couple of years ago, Callum was like, hey, do you want to do something different? And we're like, sure. So that's how these things happen. If you have an idea, you know where to find us.
So it's my fault that I have to make these videos and spend all the time. Oh man, what have I
Callum,
done?
these videos are quite. I was gonna say these videos were crazy good. Okay,
Yeah,
it's just like dialing the hype up to 5,000 is very, very impressive, sir. Loved it.
I mean, I couldn't have done it without all of the credits at the end of it from all the footage that I borrowed from people. But the point is, like, I think the reason that I and all the volunteers in Sky, we all do this for this show is because we really believe in it. We really believe in the power it has. We really believe in the community it can bring. Like, for me, going to these shows is what re-sparks the motivation to keep doing what we've been doing. I've been doing FS Elite now for 7 years. I've been tired. I've been burnt out. I've been, you name it. But then once June hits and I'm at the show and I'm talking to all these people, talking to developers, talking to communities, I'm like, yeah, this is why we do what we do and why I've been doing it for so long and why me and my team and all of the other media partners continue to do what we do, is because we just love being there and representing ourselves and representing the community at these shows. And that's, wholeheartedly why we do work hard, and that's why these developers work hard, and this is why you really should come to this show. Like, this isn't a ticket selling operation or anything, or we're not on, we just feel very, very passionately about being there. And the more people there, the better these shows are. And the more people that are there, the more the developers will go, hang on, I will come and exhibit and I will showcase new stuff because there is a big audience there. So the power is literally in your hands. The more people kind of talk about the show, spread the news on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, then, the more we're likely to see bigger names and so forth at these shows. So spread the word. If your developer's not on that list, go and tell them, make sure that they are there.
It's so good. Cal, if I can add just to that, I think one of the things that's impressed to me is, again, the next generation pilot. I think the reason why we're going so hard is because when we take a look at different communities like FIFA or like any other sports community or DDR, for example, you can see how huge and how international we are, right? And I think about how they accomplish it. And a lot of it is at events like this, right? The community all comes together and shows out in numbers, right? And people are like, oh, okay, this community is about it. And not only that, they're inclusive and are future looking, right? It's not just the same old things. We are looking at the next cutting edge, the latest products, the way to push the boundaries. And I think I'm going to use the G word, which is growth. I think the reason why we're doing this is because we want to grow on every level. The FSA wants to grow. We want the Expo to grow, right? To be a multi-day, multi-week conference. We want our own communities to grow, right? And this is how we accomplish that. It's truly how we do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's what developers are responding to too, is they see the floor plan or they see who else is confirmed or they see that someone else is making a reveal, and that's like, oh, you know what? I better be thinking about this too. And I think that's really important. We're trying to build this show into the once a year in North America that a developer comes out with news. I mean, I'd love to see a whole day of here's, 20 new product reveals that you had no idea were coming, and it's just one after the next after the next. We're getting to that point. I'd love to see that keep happening in Europe. Developers, like there's 3 or 4 conferences in the world, right? right? So schedule your stuff. We've kind of put our conferences all throughout the year.
Right.
Schedule your stuff. It would be very easy to have 3 or 4 releases, across the world. But using events like this, because you're never going to get the kind of feedback that you get when you say something in a room full of people and they gasp, or they start clapping, or they start, kind of whispering amongst themselves, and you're going, oh, maybe we did something wrong. That's just feedback you can't get anywhere else in our community.
Heard.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of questions before we wrap things up here. So one of the first questions is, people are wanting to know is it Pimax? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, Pimax. They want to know if the crystal will be there, which is one of their products. I don't know if you know the answer to that one, Evan, but someone would like to know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think so, because I was just on a call with them a few days ago where they were talking about how it's pretty much in either pre-release or just about to get shipped. So that makes me think by June, I would imagine that they will have it there. And that is like a pretty much a game-changing VR headset from what I understand. And I'm going to sell Pimax so they'll do that themselves. But I think it's a very different kind of style of VR headset in terms of the field of view, resolution, weight, than what you might have seen if you've tried like a Quest or something like that. So I think that's going to be really eye-opening for a lot of people, even if you've tried virtual reality before. And as far as I know, I would imagine they'll have it there, but I don't want to speak for them, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, any VR headset that anyone brings is going to give you a good taste of what to kind of experience. And I imagine from those guys, that their technology is, up there.
The future is coming, people. The future is coming. Get ready.
Yeah.
And so one of the other questions as well we had was, so we've seen the trailers now, we've had names, and one of the names on there was PMDG, and we've had now the exhibitor map. So someone's just asking, why aren't PMDG currently on that exhibitor map?
Yeah, so everyone that we announced, some are sponsors, some are exhibitors. As far as we know, they're all attending the show. And I'm not yet going to speak to what PMDG is doing as far as the in-person presence, because we're still sort of having that conversation. But some of them are going to, have a traditional exhibit booth. Some might be doing something a little bit different. So we'll be definitely, showcasing some more of that information as we get the schedule going and as we get some of those other details. But as far as I know, Robert's told me he's going to be there, and I'm planning to hold him to it.
Excellent. One of the questions that we had from kind of our comment section a few days ago was, they aren't too sure at the moment if they can book hotels and stuff yet. Are there any other hotels that you think would be a suitable alternative if the other ones currently sell out, or would that information come up on the website in the future?
So the nice thing is, the hotels are fully refundable if you cancel them in advance. So if it were me and I was, reasonably certain that I was going, I would book it so I had it, and then just make sure that you cancel it. You do pay a deposit. You do get that deposit returned to you if you don't end up using the room, as long as you cancel in advance. Obviously, the last thing we want is for somebody to be trying to come to the show and they can't make it because of a hotel. So we work very hard to make sure that there's affordable options for everybody. And we're right near Hobby Airport, so it's not like there aren't hotel rooms. It's just that the rooms that we've secured at a really good rate, like less than $120 all in per night, including the taxes, those are going to go away. But there will always be options nearby. And so once those I've actually already got a backup set of 50 rooms that's like 129 plus tax a night. So those are kind of ready to go in the wings. You're going to spend an extra $50 a night, but you'll have a room. And as that 50 goes away, we'll do that same thing. So we'll always make sure there's options. But when I talk about the best pricing and the best savings, that definitely happens now.
Awesome. So yeah, you've heard them. If you want to come, get your arrangements sorted, because after seeing all those 50 names so far, and there are still more to come, this show will sell out. I reckon, definitely. And someone just wanted a bit more clarification. We talked a little bit about this Monday seminar, but people just need a little bit clarification around kind of what that is and who it's specifically aimed towards.
Yeah, so Monday is for flight simulation developers only. So that would be predominantly our exhibitors and our sponsors. But if you are attending the show and you are a flight simulation developer, but you're not exhibiting or sponsoring, you can always reach out to us, and assuming there's space, we'd be happy to have you there. And it really came out of this notion that, flight sim developers, some of us talk quite a bit, but some of us basically never talk to each other. And so we thought, with all of us being in the same place, let's give developers a sort of safe space to collaborate and talk more about how we can engage with the community and how we can support customers and simmers and pilots in and around the world. So we'll have a nice mix of people who are in, say, real world marketing organizations. I'm thinking like a major maybe media publication Simulation, for example, I'm not going to name yet. And then we might have somebody who is, let's say, Orbix in the room. And then we might have somebody who's a brand new small-time developer who's never even released their first product. And that difference of opinion and experience is what we're trying to go for. How do we kind of get those people talking to each other so someone who's brand new can learn from the best and the biggest in flight simulation, and those people can learn from the best and the biggest in mainstream aviation marketing, and try to tie that all together and make those connections. So it's Monday, June 26th, but it is for flight simulation developers, so specifically our exhibitors and our sponsors. It wouldn't be something that regular attendees have access to. On Monday, though, if you are in Houston, we've got 4 tower tours, or I should say 4 ATC facility tours lined up for folks who are interested in that kind of thing.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I mean, this has been an hour chock full of information. My head is going to explode, and I knew all of this information before the video, so goodness knows how people at home are feeling at the moment.
It's just the first one. And can we talk about that?
So much more to come.
It's just the first one.
Yes.
Amazing. I mean, Sky, is there anything you want to add before we let Evan kind of close this out with those final details so people can go and register today and get all their accommodation and tickets sorted?
I mean, I just hope that the excitement is translating here, guys. Like, it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a banger. I feel like the community is gonna show out. You can meet your favorite content creators. You can meet the people who are making your favorite software and hardware products, right? And you can all co-mingle in one space, right? And it's all sanctioned. It's okay. We can go to Houston. It's good. And I just say, like, if you're hesitant, don't be, right? Connect with whoever is gonna go. Find someone who is going and ask them why they're going. Find out their reasons, and you'll be surprised how similar they are to yours. And you should absolutely go and get your tickets now, because it's gonna be sold out. I would not be surprised that even after this first reveal, before we even get to the next one, that we've got to do another ticket allocation because we're sold out. We got to add a Tuesday because there's too much programming happening or something, or we got to go a week long because we're now 50,000 people strong, right? And I don't think that's too unrealistic, right? If we channel our energies right. I don't think that's unrealistic. So all excitement, and just thank you for having me. And I'm very excited to see what we got coming.
Listen again.
I think I just heard Evan faint when you mentioned the word Tuesday and then 50,000.
I know.
Don't be surprised. Okay, 2024.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Amazing. Well, before we get into 2024, I think we need to focus on 2023. So Evan, over to you to kind of close us out. Tell us those important dates. Tell us how we can register. Tell us how we can get those hotels booked right now in preparation for June.
Yeah, those are so June 23rd to 25th. That's the main show. June 26th is that developer conference we just talked about. It all happens in Houston. Friday over at the DoubleTree Hotel. Saturday and Sunday over at the Lone Star Flight Museum. All the details on our website, FlightSimExpo.com. If you're looking to book travel, those hotel deals, they're available at FlightSimExpo.com. Same for the rental cars, same for the aviation and airfare discounts. And like I said, if you have ideas, if you have suggestions, you can always reach out to us. But I think Sky said it right. This event is all about community and it's all about connection. So if there's someone that that you think might be going, reach out to them, talk about it, make a plan. And if there isn't, don't worry, because this is the easiest place to make friends. We're all flight sim nerds here, like every single one of us, even the people who don't think they're flight sim nerds are flight sim nerds. So if you're coming to this show, you will have no problem meeting people and being able to sort of experience that whole vibe. Now, there is, of course, Phil's reminding me here in the chat that there is the online-only option as well. We have that back this year. So if you absolutely can't make it to Houston, you definitely have the way to access all the content from the show. You'll be able to watch all the seminars live, ask your questions, see the recordings. It's obviously not the same that you're not physically in the room with us, but it is our way of being able to make this event global. And of course, we know people aren't able to attend because of a number of reasons. So that option is definitely on the table. All those details, registration for in-person, for online, our travel discounts, our dates, our initial schedule, and of course, the first version of our floor plan and exhibit hall, FlightSimExpo.com.
Evan, if I may, didn't you provide, wasn't there a level of access to that content post the conference as well last year? Because I remember vaguely,
Yep, everyone who comes to the show or who registers for the online-only event, you also have access to watch the recordings of the show. Usually it's about 3 months after, and so that's totally exclusive to you. So if you were someone who, because we do have 2 tracks of presentations on Saturday, for example, you can't physically be in both rooms at once, so you'll be missing half the show. That other half is available for you to watch online. Everything gets recorded, everything gets archived, And so whether you've attended in person or you've bought the online only access, you'll be able to have full visibility into everything that's happened at the show.
Amazing, 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 amazing. So much to see, so much to do, so many seminars to go to, so many exhibitors to watch and see and do. This show is shaping up to be the biggest yet. I am so excited. Sky is excited. Evan's excited. Everyone else we've spoken to is super excited. I just want to say a massive thanks to DeAndre and Colin for joining us earlier to talk about it from a developer's perspective. Sky, thank you so much for all of your help and support today.
Oh, I think you're cute
Evan,
too.
Thank
You
you.
already
Thank
used
you.
that
Thank
joke.
you.
You can't use it twice.
I was before we started.
Doesn't matter. Unoriginal content. Calling you out.
And of course, Evan, thank you so much for you. And of course, Phil, who's in the background working tirelessly as well for all of the efforts you've done to get this show up and running. And of course, all of the volunteers who are also part of this. So I think that is it for today's stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I have been Callum from FS Elite, and we will see you at FlightSimExpo 2023 this June in Houston. Bye for now.